Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So Joe Douglas caught up with the media early this morning at the owners meetings, and in this one I wanted to kind of give you my main takeaway here from this little press conference, this little media session. Quick little disclaimer though, yesterday when Robert Saleh had his press conference, the entire thing got posted online, so I was able to watch it from start to finish and really go through everything. But with this one, I couldn't really find a full video. It was more so small little video clips, like 30 seconds to a minute long, so that's really the stuff that I'm going to be focusing on, just the stuff that I actually saw. So with that being said, let's jump right in. So we heard a lot of the same, right? That the Jets feel great about the guard position, right? Alijah Vera-Tucker moving over to right guard, Laken Tomlinson filling in at left guard. Obviously, he's been a great left guard for the 49ers these past couple of seasons. He's been durable. He's been awesome. Obviously, a great system fit as well, and a leader, a veteran leader. And I think he's really going to do a great job at left guard, but the question is more so AVT at right guard. I feel confident in the move. I feel confident in the transition. Vera-Tucker's still a young player with an upside, so I'm hoping he can, continue to grow, and maybe, right, glass half full here, maybe he turns into a better right guard than left guard, so that would just be absolutely awesome at the end of the day. So it's looking like the interior of the offensive line is good to go, right? Maybe we can add one more depth piece, like Tardif, if he wants to come back to the NFL, and the Jets, obviously want to have him back. I mean, that would be a nice depth signing. I really like what he showed last year, or maybe mid to late round in the draft, but it's looking like the interior of the offensive line is finally solved, right? I know a lot could happen, but I haven't felt this good about the interior in a long time, in a very long time, right? Going back to Gase, going back to Todd Bowles to a certain degree, like I feel really good. The next point, again, we know this, but the wide receiver position, it seems like the Jets really want to add that number one wideout, and they're going to do what it takes, and they're ready to strike. We've heard that quote thrown around a lot. And then obviously the Jets have been interested in guys like Amari Cooper and Calvin Ridley and Tyreek Hill, and it just seems like if the right guy comes available, if contract talks go south, the Jets are ready to swoop in and make a move. We're open for business, and we want to make or give Zach Wilson as much help as possible going into year two. I absolutely love it, right? I think that's the right plan. I would much rather have that philosophy than the opposite, right? Where we're going to be addressing wide receiver in rounds 4 through 7. Yeah, I don't want to be in that position. And with the extra draft capital, and he actually touched on this as well, it gives the Jets some versatility. Right, we can just take 4 players in the top 38. We can, package some of those picks and move them, much like we saw in the proposed Tyreek Hill trade, where we offered up the 2 second-round picks, and the Chiefs actually 2 second-round picks and more, and the Chiefs actually accepted that. That would have been insane to land Tyreek Hill and still be able to keep pick 4 and pick 10, but just having those picks. Having those multitude of picks just gives you versatility, right? It gives you versatility to move back, to move up, to trade them away for a player. It gives you that flexibility that not many teams have. Another thing that I want to make a note of here is that he fully expects Mekhi Becton to be one of the 2 starting tackles for the team next season. Right, and it's interesting because we know George Fant is going to be locking down either the left side or the right side. I think it's going to be the left side. A lot of people think it's going to be the left side based off of his ceiling there, based off of his floor at the position, based off of what he did last season at left tackle, blocking for Zach Wilson. He did a great job. Was he a top 3 tackle? No, but he was a very good blocker. I love George Fant. I'm a big fan. Underrated, hard work ethic. I feel like he doesn't get talked about enough by like the mainstream media. Big fan of George Fant here. Okay, so you're looking at right tackle. We obviously lose Morgan Moses to free agency. Is Joe Douglas kind of hinting at the fact that the loser of the left tackle battle will move over to right tackle? Maybe. And of course, it's still so early in the process. Guys can come available. The draft isn't even here yet. But because of that expectation, right, where Becton's going to be one of the 2, according to Joe Douglas, he expects he's going to be either one of the 2 starting tackles. That leads me to believe that, and pairing that with Robert Saleh's press conference yesterday, that the Jets are really looking at edge at spot number 4 or 10 if their guy isn't on the board. But I really think it's going to be Kayvon Thibodeau. I do. Or if Aiden Hutchinson falls. I mean, in the case of Walker from Georgia, he's a guy who I like, right? Aggressive, big-time hitter, a good tackler in open field. He has that game-wrecking quality about him that you like, just being able to blitz right through, or not blitz as in the football term, but just blow right by the offensive line, really fast, right? Just like a blur. And just, he's almost like a heat-seeking missile. The closer he gets to the quarterback, the faster he goes. It's really interesting. My only hesitation with Walker, a little bit of a system fit, because what Georgia does is a little different than what obviously the Jets do on their defensive line. And the combine, I don't like how the combine is always the first thing that people talk about with Walker. So those are my only 2 hesitations with Walker here. But look, if I could very well see, Hutchinson going off the board at spot number 1. Detroit, Kayvon Thibodeau, he might go. Maybe KT will go to Houston. Then what do the Jets do? Do you go with a guy like Walker? Do you try to move back? Do you just say, you know what, we're just going to look at edge at spot number 10? Do you maybe quote-unquote reach for a guy like Jermaine Johnson, or do you hope that he's there at spot number 10? Maybe you just go with the Sauce Gardner at 4. Maybe you go offensive line. But reading the tea leaves here, from what I've kind of gotten from both Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas, it's really looking like edge is going to be picked early in this draft. Another thing that I do want to mention here is the fact that we know how important the edge position is in this style of defense. I would probably go as far as to say it's the most important, or if not the top, it's probably 2 or 3, but I mean, even 3 sounds way too low in my opinion. Edge is really important here, and we're looking at the position right now. We are thin. We are really thin there. So you can't, outside of that top 10, that top, half of the draft, where are you going to get a top level edge rusher? I mean, these guys just don't become available. And of course, Von Miller was out there and Chandler Jones was out there, but they're veteran players, right? Those guys, they've been on multiple teams. They've cashed in with their mega deals. Chandler Jones obviously is heading to Vegas. I was going to say Oakland, but heading to Vegas to make his playoff push. Von Miller's going to Buffalo to make his playoff push. The TJ Watts, Myles Garrett's, Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, they don't grow on trees. And when they do, when they are actually available, they get scooped up and get locked up pretty quickly. Okay, so I'm looking at the free agency market. Even guys like Derek Barnett, Barnett was a guy who I felt like the Jets could maybe target. He's off the board, so I think I'm looking at the trade market. There's really not anybody there. I'm looking at free agency. There's not really anybody there. Your only option at this point, I don't want to say only option, but probably the only option here is to select one of these top level talents with a humongous ceiling early in the draft. I mean, that's where all these guys go anyway. Think back, Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt was a first round pick, but later. So to me, I really feel like edge is going to be one of the picks in the first round, whether it's at 4 or 10. Again, I'm looking at guys like Hutchinson, Johnson, Thibodeau, Walker, but more specifically the first 3, just based off of scheme fits and everything like that. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.